Welcome in, Earth Warriors, to Awakening Ministries. Divine Masculine presents The Naked Truth, Episode 7. Tonight's Divine Masculine episode is titled, What Will Be, and What is the Truth? I went ahead, like I always do, to cut down on time and to kind of get an overall kind of feel of what I'm going to be channeling tonight. I have already pulled some cards from Divine Counterparts and Separation deck by Made for Love, and from the Oracle Chakra Wisdom Oracles. So I also have a final message for the Divine Masculines in their current healing situation, or in their current energy situation anyway. So what I have overall in the energy here with Divine Counterparts and Separation deck is the Empress. And the only thing that I can say about this card popping out is that I can feel in the Divine Masculine's energy right now the Great Mother God, or whatever you want to call the archetypal energy of the Divine Feminine, the Great Divine Feminine. So this means two different things, because I am channeling two different things for this card. The first thing is the Divine Masculine is finally embodying his inner feminine energy, and he is now in an energy that's propelling him forward to create and embrace the creations that are happening in his life currently. This is also, to me, because of the lion and the woman in the card, kind of embracing the lion before her. It's kind of like an energy of kind of taming the beast within kind of energy. I also get from the tarot, I get the energy of the Strength card here as well. So a lot of very strong, very courageous, very passionate, very, very creative energy is sitting within the masculine at this point in time. The second thing that this card means is the focus necessarily isn't primarily on a Divine Feminine, but maybe the energy is starting to hit the masculine at this point in time, starting to get a different perception about what a Divine Feminine may actually be at this point in time. And the reason why I point to that direction is because you have some heart chakra energy going on here with the card of perception, and then underneath that you have, this is what's going on in isolation. Being isolated is also making him want to speak his truth, and it's also putting him in an energy, the third eye chakra energy of listening to himself, having faith within his own intuition, in the higher power, in the powers that be, which is why I get that energy of what will be. You know, the Divine Masculine is stepping into this energy of what will be, and changing his perception during a period of isolation. It's also making him want to speak. So we're going to get right into this reading. So I haven't really channeled much of what I pulled the cards from. I just pulled enough to get a title for this video, and this is what my spirit guides told me to do tonight, so I'm just going to go with the flow here. I call in my angels, masters, way showers, and guides to allow me to be a clear channel for the Divine Masculine Collective tonight, and I want to open this reading with love, with light, and perfect trust. So let's begin. Let's find out what's going on in the divine masculine's state of mind when it comes to what energies of the past are swirling around right now in the energy of the divine masculine. And we got the hope card. So this is about, I really feel very strongly the Hierophant energy, because when I was focusing on the energy for the divine masculine earlier, the image of the Hierophant card came to mind, and it is the card of a higher learning, a sense of faith. Divine masculine could be in this Hierophant energy where he is turning to any means of faith. Okay, this could be church, this could be some form of religion, this could be some form of science understanding, this could be a form of just an awakening to a higher level of consciousness, to be honest, in any form of the word. So when I say that the Hierophant came into mind, it's like this little I don't know what this revelation is. I'm getting that it's a revelation of knowledge, a revelation of hope. And it's kind of like a dual energy going on from the crown chakra to the root chakra within the divine masculine when it comes to the energy that he is processing at some form of past level. Okay, now maybe we'll get it more into the clarification of what these cards mean more whenever we get into the tarot, but I'm gonna read the messages of the cards. So with instinct, we have the legend. There is a guide inside all of us. Okay. The wolf climbs the treacherous rocks. His eyes are always fixed on the high ground. But during the time he prepared to be a guardian, his master trained him never to turn back. When we look behind, we sap the energy we are to use in the future. His master said, wolf's defense is his instinct, and he senses danger. Hence, the wolf journeys on and does not look below for his enemies. He climbs unseen, for only those who seek a spirit guide can see him. Your instinct is finely tuned, so why doubt it? Your journey is guided. How can I master letting go and moving on? Do I trust my own inner guidance? This is a solitary journey, but spirit lies on the road ahead. Lead by spirit and follow your instincts. This is about the divine masculine's instinct guides their awakening within him, and it is giving him this sense of hope. So whether the divine masculine understands that he has spirit guides or not, this is still about the energy of gathering some form of knowledge from a higher perspective, okay? Because you have perception here, which is playing really, really heavily into the heart chakra. So far, I'm seeing that all of the divine masculine's chakras are awakened at this point, because you have these activations going on from the root chakra to the crown chakra. And so far, we've also seen that sacral energy, the third eye energy, and the throat chakra energy as well, which means that divine masculine is hitting a plateau of alignment at this point in time. And so this is how I feel like the divine masculine is starting to understand that um, it's time for him now to trust his instincts, to have faith in a higher power, and whatever is moving through within the confines of the changes in isolation that the divine masculine is going through at this particular time is about him brushing up on his instincts. And this level of perfection here with the hope card and instincts as well. And what he's starting to understand is that perfection is coming through the lessons that he's learned and from the observations that he's gained in this time of learning, in this time of closing out certain cycles. Okay. The new beginnings energy that you have here with the Empress is just showing that the divine masculine is in a very loving and a very giving energy at the moment. And even though this card is about understanding that you're perfect inside of your own world, when you are trusting your higher power, when you are trusting your instincts, when you are trusting the divine knowledge that you're gaining through the overall energy here with the new perceptions and these awakenings that are happening. The perfection energy of the card is about this deeply desiring love, at this particular time. This is about acceptance and friendship and the connections that the divine masculine is overall looking at based on their uniqueness, trusting his instincts on how to, clear out past energy, but to allow these new energies to come in and resonate. So this is also about the divine masculine having to trust his instincts with that energy that's always going to, in some way or another, it's going to come up and it's going to surface itself for the divine masculine to heal. And it's about being too hard on himself or consequently, maybe being hard on others around him. This could also be about past energy too, childhood clearings, from what my spirit guides are telling me. The divine masculines may be processing this energy where they're too hard on themselves, consequently because of others. Growing up in dysfunctional cycles. This could be something that the divine masculine is clearing out from the past at this particular time. So it may be one of those things that it may be coming in as a distraction to distract the masculine from the fact that he is ascending and this is something that he should feel good about. Okay, so from what I do know, when we clear out cycles and when we do clear out energy, sometimes when we step into a higher vibration, we wind up sometimes having to fight off the lower level energies that we kind of just stepped out of because it creates this vortex. And it can sometimes distract you because it brings up a lot of things for you to heal at one particular time and another. And while you may have one revelation about one thing, it's kind of like the divine masculine is going through one revelation after another, and he's in this position of vulnerability at the moment where he's having to regain a focus between what's right and telling others about what may not be best for their well-being. And so he's trying to shift his focus more inward at this point in time. to avoid hurting feelings. So this may also put him in a state of alienation because he may not be understanding, what's going on with this transformation that is happening. So, but there's a lot of energy of releasing, within this perfection card, and it's going to revert back to the fact that the divine masculine, at this point in time, in dealing with some energy that may be surfacing up from the past, he's having to rely more on his instincts. And it's kind of more what my spirit guides are telling me is that it's kind of like it's a test of mastery, is what it is. And so, what the divine masculine is being tested upon at this particular moment, in clearing out past cycles of energy, is that the test is for the divine masculine to inevitably trust his instincts, to kind of learn to master control over this energy of being too hard on himself, and how he projects that onto the people around him. But this is also about deeply desiring love. So I feel like when it comes to the divine feminine, in this particular case, the divine feminine is very heavily on the divine masculine's mind at this particular time. I mean, as somebody that can channel this energy, I'm here to attest that the energy between the divine masculine and the divine feminine right now is very loving. It's very healing, and at this point in time, the divine masculine who is going through these changes may in fact actually be thinking about his divine feminine, because she's right here in the energy. A lot of new things are being created with this energy clearing and the instincts that are taking over during this transformation. So let's move into what the divine masculine is thinking, or what is going on in the present timeline, along with what he is clearing out. And we have a lot more root chakra energy here. So here he is, the divine counterpart to the divine feminine. Here you have the emperor and the empress. But what the emperor is currently experiencing, at this particular time, is a renewal of self-discovery. He's going through this renewal energy where he's feeling like, my spirit guides, they're just saying like he's feeling like a new man at this point in time. There's a lot of loving energy within this flowing dynamic happening right now within the masculine dynamic at the moment. And I'm getting this feeling almost as if it's kind of like hard to speak. It's kind of like so profound that it's kind of hard to put it into words. So that's why my spirit guides are just saying, the masculine, this is why the masculine is trying to take his time to come forward to speak about his feelings, although he's feeling quite passionate at this particular time in his life. But this is something very new to him. So it may be why he may be having a hard time voicing entirely what this experience is all about, because this is something new. I feel like a lot of this root chakra energy is because of the clearings from down below. I think right now that's what it is, Luis. They are looking to find their own sense of truth in the changes that are taking place in their lives right now. This could also be to the awakening that some of these divine masculines do have a divine counterpart. This could also come from that, energy of, this could also be why that renewal energy with the discovery card is here, is that, some of these divine masculines that are actually awakening are starting to actually discover that not all women are the same. And I think for the divine feminine collective as well, it's safe to say that some of the divine feminines are actually waking up to the fact that the divine masculines are quite a bit more intuitive, than they're being given credit for, a lot of the time. They have very, very sharp instincts. And so the divine masculine has been made to feel extremely insecure in the past about these instincts. And so this may be something that the divine masculine is having to heal with himself at this particular time, but also understanding and going through the lessons, and observation actually, is that not all women are out to destroy, or they don't have evil intentions. And you know this could come from an idea of maybe having an abusive or neglectful mother, or having neglectful parents, father figures, or it could have been some distorted scenario that the divine masculine is having to heal within himself. And it's bringing him a sense of renewal, because I feel like for a lot of these divine masculines, they've come into contact, with a divine feminine in their lives. No matter what kind of the dynamic of the relationship, they've had someone in their lives that would have stood in as a feminine role, and it's taught them lessons of, that not all women are the same, and that there is some level of respect that, the feminine culture, actually starts to, deserve more recognition, And so a lot of divine masculines are actually waking up to this, and clearing out karmic cycles that's bringing in this energy of renewal and self-discovery. And it's really, really opening them up to new perceptions within their heart space. And I feel like within their soul space, because this card is really soulful and it's really heart lovey-dovey. I mean, it's kind of like this spiritual guidance, this is angelic to me, because you have this angelic figure up here guiding this, masculine figure into his heart space, while you have this renewal energy happening. So this is a very, very beautiful energy that's taking place. But I feel like if you're not looking hard enough at the divine masculine right now, you're not really going to see that, because the divine masculine is kind of changing perceptions. So he's not being very, talkative. He's not being very verbal. This is just something that you would kind of have to look upon and see a true divine masculine in action right about this point in time in order to understand what is happening here. And honestly, I have to tell you, it's one of the most beautiful things that I could probably pick up in this energy at this point in time. So we have renewal. So when you're going through a state of renewal at this point, obviously the divine masculine would have two sides, dual actions going on right now, probably in his thoughts or in his headspace at the moment. So things that may have come to an end, these masculines are awakening to being born again. It's kind of like well, did this end on a good note, or am I embarking on a phase of positive change, or did I let this particular situation defeat me? And am I ready to take the steps into this new me that is emerging here? And so this is why you have that discovery energy. So sourcing from a more beneficial place and feeling like in the dark, so unexpected blessings are coming to the divine masculine, and this is something that the divine masculine may not see at this particular time. He's definitely understanding that this is a regeneration process. He's awakening to things. He may not see that good fortune is coming his way, but he's definitely feeling it in the energy. Even though he cannot see it, he may be feeling it. This is also an energy of feeling, like this renewal is coming after feeling very heavily like he's been discarded. Like people just discard him. They misunderstand him. He's really trying to take notice how this has made him feel and how he wants to feel now, in the things that are meant for him instead of the things that aren't. So, I mean, this is a really beautiful process where the divine masculine is actually bringing forth some of what his higher self is actually trying to guide him toward, to make things better, to give him a sense of renewal, to give him the opportunity to discover, his true wants, his true desires, and what he really wants to manifest at this point in time. And it looks like a lot of beautiful energy. Yeah. Wanting to change his circumstances after being in a period of darkness. So this is where he's at. This is where that transformation process is really hitting home to the divine masculine right now. It's definitely getting him in his feels. Very open, very loving, very rooted, very passionate. And I almost wanted to say it's almost like the divine right now, his angels and spirit guides are actually guiding him to that place of I don't know, peace. Peace within is what I'm getting. So anyway, what's going on in his headspace? Let's find out. We have the Covenant card. This came up last week in the Divine Masculines read. So this is about rejection and being at an impasse. Okay, so this is what's going on in his headspace. So maybe promises broken. That feeling of rejection. Things not turning out the way that you'd planned, having expectations, putting too much expectation on a situation or yourself, maybe pushing things to work that weren't meant to, kind of maybe putting that idea of, a covenant or a union energy into someone, where it wasn't beneficial. So this feeling of rejection has the divine masculine at an impasse. This could be a result of clearing out karmic energies as well, karmic cycles. And if it's not karmic cycles, then karmic people, karmic soulmates. I will go so far as to say that this could be also, clearing out family history, distortions, dysfunction, toxicities within family traits, family habits, codependencies, releasing codependencies as well. This is also more crown chakra healing energy going on within the Divine Masculine's headspace. So there are a lot of spiritual downloads that are happening right now. You have this Hierophant energy. The Hierophant energy is here to bring in knowledge, and it's to give the Divine Masculine a different perspective about maybe some of the reasons why some of the situations that he had to endure, and the rejection energy from it, where it's created this impasse where he's needing to learn and go within and understand that there was certain knowledge to be gained from certain experiences that the Divine Masculine has actually had throughout his lifetime. These experiences could be very traumatizing, to a child or to a person who, has a lot of defined root chakra energy, which means that they're more grounded. So it may be harder for these Divine Masculines to actually grasp, in their thought process, why somebody would actually, reject, love, or reject a covenant, a promise. Why would somebody break a promise? You know what I'm saying? The Divine Masculine is going to feel some kind of hard done, especially if in these particular situations where he's tried, to be honest, he's tried to be fruitful, he's tried to, um, bring, good and positive, hopeful energy, to a situation, and just to have it backfire in his face later. A lot of us have gone through situations like that, and it would naturally make us fearful of being in love or discovering ourselves. But that's also a part of the lessons. That's also a part of what we go through here on this life journey. And so the Divine Masculine is really, really awakening to that at this particular time. And while last week, we had talked about the Divine Masculine truly revealing his authenticity and kind of getting frustrated with the world, because the Divine Masculine is starting to see that there are multiple different masks that you have to learn how to instinctively, you have to learn how to see through them, and you have to, you know, learn how to find your own self-worth in all of these, experiences when you're clearing out, energy from a distorted place. You have people around you that, may have given you a distorted perception. And so now as an adult, you see where the distorted perceptions, really didn't get you, very far or get you into a fruitful situation. You've experienced, rejections. You've had to go through the lessons in order to find out who you are as a person, or what you like, what your dislikes are, what kind of people that you mesh with. I mean, everything is part of a life process, but I feel like in the Divine Masculine's headspace at this particular time, he's thinking about those broken promises, and he's thinking about the rejection, and he's having to go within and trust his own instincts to, differentiate between the imperfections to find his own perfection in all of it. So all of this is about the renewal and the self-discovery of truly understanding that through this impasse and through these lessons and through these downloads, what you have going on in the Divine Masculine's heart space is he's gaining the divine guidance that he needs in order to push him forward on his quest and speak his truth and come from a place of wisdom. So this is about gaining a new perception of wisdom from all of the things that he's experienced and awakened to, and the things that he may not want to go back to. Because I'm really truly feeling like with his heart chakra, like with his chakras being wide open, and from the looks of it, he's getting a lot of this healing energy within the root chakra. So it's creating this open space for his heart and for this truth to actually really come in and sink in and help him at a time where, his mind is at an impasse. So it's kind of like his heart, he's following the divine guidance toward his heart wisdom and what he's learned from his heart space and not from his head space. If that makes any sense. There really is a difference. And so while the divine masculine may not openly wear his heart on his sleeve, his divine wisdom and his guidance is coming out through his actions at this particular time. And even though he may feel isolated and at a standstill at this particular time, um, he's just, honestly, what they're telling me about this particular section here is that he's remembering the importance of a promise. And he's also gaining this sense of, love about himself, this sense of renewal, and this new understanding of divine protection, divine wisdom, divine knowledge, and understanding that he's on an important mission and he's on an important quest here to spread his wisdom and to share his wisdom with other people, on how you can turn pain into power, honestly. So we have the energy. Let me see. Rejection. I wanted to see if there was another keyword for the rejection card. So at this particular time, while the divine masculine is at an impasse, I kind of felt like that card was about protection. And so while there are new things developing within the divine masculine, he still feels this need to protect himself. He's really facing this energy of judgment as well. Rejection, judgment, fearing people's judgments of him for things that he's done in his past. Maybe while he was functioning from a lower vibration, things that he may have some regret toward. I do feel like in some of this energy, the sacral cleansing here is about releasing guilt from past actions. Feeling like, everyone else around him kind of probably needing to gain that understanding that not everyone has the right to judge him, which is what my advice to the divine masculine would be at this particular time. Is just don't let anyone judge you for what you've done in your past, because what they see is their own perception. And I'll just explain to you this way. The divine feminine, the divine masculine really wants to come forward in these healing cards, these healing oracles. It's like the divine masculine is trying to tell the divine feminine that he really needs for her to understand that what she perceives about him may not be the truth. And so while the divine masculine has carried guilt from past rejections when it comes to the divine feminine, he's feeling very guilty for some of these rejections toward the divine feminine. And so he's also gaining a new perception about that at this particular time. He's opening his heart space to her. But at the same time, he's protecting himself because of things that he's experienced as forms of rejection at the same time. So it's kind of like the message to the divine feminine straight out is that he really needs the divine feminine's support at this particular time, because he is changing. He is going through a period of self-renewal and self-discovery. He is realizing that he has to heal his own ideals of what he thinks perfection really is. And if it stems from a place where someone may have in the past made him feel like he was less than perfect, or I just really feel like it's a lot of energy clearing for the divine feminine within him and the divine feminine that he loves. Maybe he did reject her. Maybe he did run from her in the past, but he's at this serious impasse right now where promises broken are being reflected upon, and they're also being taken into acknowledgement that promises are important. And when you say that you're going to do something, or when you say, it's kind of like when you speak words of truth, you kind of have to remind yourself not to speak words of rejection, not only to yourself, but to other people. So it's kind of like the divine masculine is having to go through this lesson of learning how to use his own discernment when it comes to self-rejection and when it comes to rejection of others. You know, there is a compassionate way to actually handle situations like that. And so this can be looked at from multiple different perspectives. But this is just so far what I'm able to pick up on, just channeling, you know, what I see whenever I look at the cards. So the divine masculine at this point in time, he's looking toward vibing people into his inner circle that are basically on his support level. People that understand him. People that honor who he is for who he is and not by how he appears to be. And so this may be a true wish within the divine masculine within his thought process. You know, maybe he's just wishing that the divine feminine collective would stop, you know, kind of labeling him as a particular kind of entity, you know. The divine masculines, basically what they're flat out telling me right now in this energy is that they don't want to be looked at for shit that they did in the past. They want to be acknowledged for the changes that they are making right now. And it's kind of a level of frustration with this rejection energy here. They want to be seen for the changes that they're making. They want to be heard. They don't want to be misunderstood anymore. And so this is why the divine masculines are at a standstill. It's because they need that loving, supportive energy while they're on this new path of self-discovery. They need that confidence right now because they feel isolated. So you also have a lot going on within their changes of perception. So the divine masculine with soul guidance, he's coming more into his quest energy, this truth about who he's becoming, what he's questing for. Wondering where is next to take his risks and being open to the wisdom that is coming in for him to receive. He's also being called divinely to become more committed to the path that he's on because it's giving him the courage to receive the answers on this journey. So he just has to understand and acknowledge that the path that he seeks is already in front of him and that he doesn't need to look any further. And I think that this is what's being hidden right now in the divine masculine's blind spot while he's transmuting some of this energy. But if he truly is trusting his instincts, he's truly trusting the divine guidance and the wisdom that is being brought to him to help him on this quest. We're going to find out here in just a minute whenever I pull the tarot. Get some angel angel guidance from the influence of the Angels Tarot deck, and we're going to find out where is the Divine Masculine headed in action at this point in time. What actions will the Divine Masculine take in order to what actions should the Divine Masculine take right now in order to move forward? Okay, so I guess this is to confirm with the Three of Swords. You do have that energy of the Divine Masculine is healing a part of his heart that it's been hurting over this energy of perfection here. Wounds. Clearing out past wounds. Clearing out energy of rejection. Four of Cups. This could be from the rejection of the love of a feminine in one way or another, in a motherly aspect or in a lover aspect of things. Rejecting truth, rejecting the cup of love that he offered out. It probably wasn't something easy for these masculines to do by giving out their cup of love and having it rejected. So now the masculine is grounding himself with the Page of Pentacles. So this young and youthful energy coming in, because the Divine Masculine is taking action to remove himself from this energy trap, keeping him stuck. You have the Eight of Pentacles as well. The Divine Masculine is rebuilding himself from the ashes. Okay, so the Three of Swords is about falling away and where the inflictions were that caused pain, allowing those things to fall away. There is no blood, but this is more of like a mental wound. It includes insults, betrayals, or catastrophic news. So, but the strength and the power of 3 has made the injury perfect and strong. It is perfect because whoever wounded the woman knew exactly what would hurt the most. So these people that hurt the Divine Masculine knew where they were hurting him the most in his heartstrings. So it symbolizes that the vulnerabilities have been exposed. This caused great distress and great pain. So the angel influence of this card, though, it's flying toward the woman. The angel represents compassion and hope. So that's why you have that hope card here. Even though the Divine Masculine has been through these very painful things where people hurt him and they knew exactly what they were doing and where it would hurt him the most, the emotional pain and suffering caused by this heartbreak is about using this pain, in the past. Maybe the Divine Masculine at some point acted out, but it was because he was heartbroken. And so the angel represents compassion and hope. And because the woman is averting her eyes, it means that the Divine Masculine at some point wasn't ready to move forward and heal from that. So a lot of rejections could have happened on both sides within the dynamics of some of the shit that these divine masculines have had to clear out. I know as divine feminines, we kind of have been in the same boat. And so I feel like very strongly the message of the divine masculines is to the divine feminine directly, to say that we need to give some of these divine masculines a fair shot at understanding them, because they have gone through the same battles that we have. And so if we keep reacting toward each other, with fear and this energy of feeling like we're victimized by each other, I feel like this energy of non-existent, like this energy of turning a blind eye, to what is happening within the dynamic here, is that some of the divine masculines, they feel hurt and they feel pain too, just the same as we do. So I think truly going into the depth of understanding what it is that the divine masculines are regaining hope for is this energy of feeling like they have to be perfect, in order to be loved. And they're starting to get this, divine intervention where, they are having to understand, just like we have had to understand, that, the love that we feel and that we want to experience, we do deserve it. We do deserve to feel love. We do deserve to not have to go through those energies of rejection. But the divine masculine has been trapped in this energy of being misunderstood for quite some time. And so this is what the divine masculine is trying to rebuild within himself, and that dynamic of energy of self-discovery here, where he has done a lot to rejuvenate himself with the Page of Pentacles here. So this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning for the divine masculine, and it may almost seem, like he's being a child reborn again, but at the same time, it's like the divine masculine is getting this new sense of renewal, that he can wipe the slate clean and have a brand new start and rebuild something that's beautiful and intricate and full of design and hard work. So working toward wish fulfillments within himself, things that he wishes that he could put forward into action, things that he's working on within himself. I was going to get some information about the Nine of Cups, because I feel like that's the main focal point here with this new self-discovery. Oh, okay. Yes, it does. So nines show how the cumulative effect of past events manifests in the present moment. So since this is a Cups card, the well-fed, rotund man illustrates that his life has been filled with emotional abundance. He has enjoyed and still enjoys the ample gifts that life has to offer. So this is that new sense of renewal that he's feeling. So now he's starting to feel emotional bliss in a good way, to the point where now he's starting to feel and understand that there's a new discovery of things that can still be enjoyed in this life, and the gifts that life truly can bring to you when you are looking at things from a different perception or perspective. Okay, so this is also about setting up the trophies. The cups represent emotional accomplishments or fulfillments. It also suggests that the man's contributions to the world have been acknowledged and reciprocated by others. What he's given is equal in what he's received. Additionally, the cups may be used to certain guests, suggesting healthy and fulfilling social interactions with friends, family, and others. The angel is resting like a pet in the man's arm, but the little angel conveys a sense of comfort and relaxation. The direct meaning of this card is about emotional fulfillment and attaining what you've wanted and wished for. Satisfaction within social relationships, emotional generosity, and comfort. You get what you give, and what a person put into the world is often returned in abundance. And so, giving thanks for life's pleasures, both simple and grand, and smiling at the notion that more of those things to come are in store. Okay, so this is what is being reborn within the masculine right now. And it's through that lesson. It's through that lesson of understanding and finally getting to that point where he can free himself in order just to speak the things that he wants and desires and things that he, wants to put into action here. This is also an energy coming in to help him out of this impasse that he's in with this energy of rejection and being at a standstill and giving him choices and options. There's a lot of wands energy there as well. This is also, you have the rebirth card, the death card here. The King of Wands, being creative, moving forward passionately, spiritually, trusting in spirit. A King of Wands is a very spirit activated man, an entity. So it's about taking control of your passions and your desires and knowing that you're powerful enough to manifest them. Divine masculine. Okay, so the message of the Knight of Wands in this deck is about embodying the confident establishment of oneself in the world. So this is about strength, endurance, and the means to accomplish a goal, and exploring new worlds, adventures, movement toward the next goal or discovery. So this energy that is going to come in is about a new energy of self-discovery and represents moving toward the next goal, achieving and pursuing goals, new experiences, adventures, staking a claim in the world, determination, and sustained energy. And so may your journey be filled with purpose and energy, and keep in mind that the angels are here to help guide you and never stray too far from your intended path. And I feel like what is propelling the divine masculine out of this energy of feeling rejected and, feeling at an impasse is that he's tired of feeling this way, so he's ready to move forward into this energy where, he can explore all of his options. He's ready to be adventurous. He's ready to have this new beginning. This is what is going on in his mind. He's ready for new beginnings. He's ready to explore the world, explore new things, explore new discoveries, discover things that are beautiful when he's used to seeing things that are bloody chaotic and pretty ugly. So he's in this energy where he's ready for these new discoveries, these beautiful discoveries. Three of Wands is also about gaining momentum and continuing on with energy and confidence and enthusiasm, looking ahead, visualizing the potential outcomes of things. And if a project lacks the momentum or has a rocky start, sometimes the best thing to do is to start over. So a lot of these divine masculines may be having to start over, but they're also gaining this new energy of self-discovery. And that's usually what happens when you have a great tower moment that may bring down your perceptions. You gain new ones. Everything is reborn after the tower is, after the tower. So this is the afterthought. This is what is going on in the aftermath of the towers of what's going on in the world around the divine masculine. and what's going on within his own world and how he's transmuting that at this particular time. The Tower always comes after major ego death. This card is also about Azrael being responsible for guiding the dead souls to heaven. He is shown on the card entering a tunnel of light with the departed souls. So one phase must enter before the next one can begin, and this is being in transition and going from a known to an unknown situation, and the acceptance of the inevitable. This is the tunnel of light, and it's been described by having death experiences. You know, at the light, at the end of the tunnel, there will always be a light. When one phase ends, another one begins. So when something dies, Divine Masculine, don't pretend that it hasn't died. Living with the decade remnants of something that was once alive and once refusing to acknowledge its demise, it's not healthy, but accept the death and let the new phase begin. So I feel like through this newfound energy that is coming in with that sacral opening to the Divine Masculine, propelling him in his passions to move forward, knowing that he has this new sense of renewal, he can start all over again, even if it means to set aside past differences, past destructions, and understanding that now moving forward, you have a clean slate. You can choose whichever path you want to take. You can choose your next lesson. You can choose your destiny. You already have a preconceived plan here with this covenant energy here. Understanding that you have a soul contract with spirit. You have a mission. You're on a quest here to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, and to move forward in that knowledge and to share with others, help others on their journey as well. This is about healing. There's a lot of healing energy taking place within the mind, the body, and the soul of the Divine Masculine at this particular time. The King of Wands, overall energy. Are connected to leadership and related to the foundations and structure of things. So this is what's healing with the Divine Masculine. The structure, his own structure, is being rebuilt. The Firestorm is about passion, and it mixes with ideas of passion, a call to action, taking decisive action at the most effective time, willing to take chances, trying different approach to get better results, clear, direct, straightforward, energetic, forceful, bold, no hesitations, enthusiastic, inspires other people, creates excitement, being a natural leader. So may you always believe that your actions matter, Divine Masculine. That is the angel message and the influence of the King of Wands. All right, so what does Spirit want the collective to know about the Divine Masculine's journey into his quest and his wisdom? It's walking away from emotional shit that no longer serves and moving toward a higher purpose. Standing his ground. Reconciling with the people that he loves the most. Healing the energies and the connections that he has for the childlike innocence. So I feel like this is a message strongly for the Divine Feminines watching, that if you feel the need to be patient with your Divine Masculine right now, guys, because this energy of temperance is bringing in some extreme blessings for the ones that are supporting the Divine Masculines on their journeys right now. The angels are here, giving justice not only to the Divine Masculine, but to the Divine Feminine within. And to the Divine Feminines who love their Divine Masculines. Justice needs to be had for the Emperor at the same time. The Divine Masculine's voice truly needs to be heard, truly needs to be understood. And for the message of the Divine Feminines watching this video, the Emperor is starting over, creating new beginnings, and he's using this fiery, passionate energy with spirit to excite these changes toward the Ten of Cups. He is grounding himself, Divine Feminines. Be patient. And if you haven't been in the energy of listening to your Divine Masculine, you don't need to wait for your Divine Masculine to open his mouth to tell you how he feels about you. You don't need to wait for your Divine Masculine to speak on how he's feeling, because he's truly grounding himself in this energy, and he is leaving himself open and vulnerable for you to understand. There's also a lot of energy for the Divine Masculine coming in as well for doing the work on himself, healing this energy, giving justice not only to the people around him and bringing in that Ten of Cups energy, grounding himself, but there are also messages of celebration coming in for the Divine Masculine to celebrate these new changes, to celebrate this new way of thinking, to finally free himself of the cages, the soul cages, the mind cages that he's been trapped in for so long. The angels are truly here, trying to help this round of Divine Masculines heal and temper the situation. I'm going to get a final message from the... I'm going to get a final message from the Oracles. Overall energy is light after the darkness, the dawn. So when the dawn comes, after the darkest times, the sun will always rise and the dawn will always come, and this can be no surprise. So whilst the midnight hour is often the thought of a magical hour, throughout time, dawn has had its share of the mystical. All matter of magical beings had to return to their true forms by dawn. Werewolves, vampires could only be active while the rays of sun did not pierce the sky. The dawn deities herald both hope and new life. Goddesses such as Eostre and the gods like Helios and Apollo were those who brought new life and the dawn's light to the world. The journey from the darkest night of the soul to a bright and hopeful dawn is one of the deepest and most powerful hero's paths, repeated over and over in mythology. Should you receive the dawn card, you're being reminded that there is always a fresh start and a new beginning to be had. Change is unstoppable, and even the most difficult times will pass, no matter how devastating they may seem. Hope is one of the most powerful motivating forces in the universe, and it's being indicated here. So in the overall energy, to end this reading, we have what must be, shall be. Card number 7. So I'm going to read this final card to you guys, and this is going to conclude the Divine Masculine's Naked Truth episode. So we have what must be, shall be. This is a message for you guys, Divine Masculines. You have beautiful dreams and inspired bold ambitions. You're guided to believe that they are a natural expression of your soul, something that is meant to be. Life will support you in the expression of those dreams and ambitions, even in the moments where it seems to be struggle rather than support that you are experiencing. The process for transformation into full maturity involves learning how to grow through light and through darkness and back to the light again. You will always find your way back into the light. So have faith in yourself and what must be. Dedicate yourself to what you love without hesitation. If you're experiencing loss or change, have faith. Sometimes things happen that seem to be working against us. It's only later that they show themselves to have been valuable ways by which we acquired greater faith, courage, and determination that were necessary to the fulfillment of our purpose. To know that your destiny is unfolding and you're moving through circumstances that are untimely are going to help you become your soul in fullness and splendor. Keep going. Everything happening in your life is helpful to keep you and to help you fulfill your divine potential. And know that any darkness will give way to the light. Just as life and death are natural, so too is growth. It is natural for the caterpillar to become the butterfly. It is an extraordinary to take that point of being almost unbelievable as if we were to really think about it, but natural nonetheless. It's natural for the bones of a sacred crow to return to the earth to give her minerals, which in turn support new life. So it's meant to be that with human life, there is loss that becomes a part of what allows for something new to be vitalized. You're here to grow into all that you are. You're here to bring certain dreams to life in this world. They are meant to be healing dreams for a new world because that is your nature, your innate soul way. Just like the seemingly impossible journey of the butterfly, with the sacred endings that support new beginnings, you're too moving through the cycle of life. Sometimes this can be confronting, to give up old ways for old identities that can seem frightening to the mind. Yet it is inspiring and exciting for the soul that yearns to blossom into fullness and cannot thrive when it is held back in fear. You may forget this momentarily and turn back from where you're headed out of confusion or concern. It may seem as though you're being asked to give up too much to secure your goals, or you may wonder if it's foolish imagination rather than a genuine soul purpose that is driving you forward. If you're a visionary with ideas you're not yet widely understood, but will help push humanity toward the new world, you may struggle more than most. But in this case, you're asked to take the leap of faith and endure the endings inherent in the evolution while waiting for the signs of new life. You have this ask of you because it is necessary for the process of creation, and most importantly, for you to have faith in your soul to handle it. To have faith in your own purpose when it may sometimes feel like you're fighting a losing battle, that takes a lot of heart. Great Spirit knows what you're up to, and it wants to remind you that you're not being foolish. You are following your destiny. Great Spirit wants you to accept that it can help you, that what you're pursuing is meant to be, and as you keep your course, success will come. Allow the inner force that compels you forward to have its way. Do not fear the sometimes radical changes that can take place and evolve into your destiny. Any losses or endings along the way are essential for your fulfillment. Let your trust in life's goodwill and generous support of you be unconditional, and know you shall thrive. The healing process for this card, Divine Masculine. To say this prayer aloud, I call upon the wild grace of the sacred feminine and give gratitude for your wise and loving assistance in my life. I accept your blessing to fulfill myself. I trust that you will show me the signs and impress upon me the guidance that I need, so to as to feel reassured, focused, and committed. Help me and all of the beings fulfill the plan of the Great Spirit that intends for us and has placed in our hearts. Only the goodness of your wisdom prevails, and every darkness leads me into greater light. So be it. If you can spend a little time reflecting in nature, do it. It can help you remember the cycle of life and to have faith that the earth knows how to support life with brilliance and with care. And finish with this short prayer to your own soul. My dear soul, you know what you are doing and how to grow in harmony with divine genius and sacred purpose, even when my conscious mind does not understand. You know when I do not know, so I choose to trust you, and this brings me peace and comfort for now. I trust you. Place your hands in prayer at your heart and bow your head and allow yourself to sense, feel, or intend to recognize the unlimited expressions of love from Great Spirit for you. It emanates all around you, toward you in all directions, and shines from within you, outward in all directions. So much love, support, and light is bringing comfort and reassurance to you now. You have completed this healing process, Divine Masculine. And with every ending, a dog barks and bites. I'm just kidding, guys. But anyway, this has been a message from brandinimojo with Tribal Awakening Ministries, and this has been tonight's episode of The Divine Masculine Presents The Naked Truth.